any kind of business model, there are different managements, right? System management, operations management, people management. If you don't want to think of a corporate sector, think of your own life. You have to handle people, society. You have to handle systems around you, the whole organization. Your home is an organization. So if you handle that organization, operations, so there's a kitchen work, there's a bedroom work, there's a hall work, there are different systems in place. So even in the corporate sector, there are managements that you have to work with. Now, when it comes to finance, now there are personal finance. How much do you save? How much do you expend? What is your recurring income? How many sources of income do you have? Wealth creation. Do you want to create wealth, or do you want to create or grow your lifestyle? What kind of wealth creation do you want?
Hello everyone, I'm Jitendra Singh, banker turned entrepreneur and author of the book Perfect Mastering the Art of Selling. I welcome you to read my story where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs and more. Today I have with me Miss Madhurika Raguraman. She is a qualified chartered accountant, financial risk manager, soft skill trainer and financial faculty. Beyond her profession pursuit, she also teaches a Bharatanatyam dance form, catering to art enthusiasts. Her career spans notable MNC including Stanchart, Barclays, and Grant Thornton. Here, she actively contributes to the accounting and finance domain while also playing a role in content creation and editing for internet portals. Her expertise extends to mentoring and coaching, holding positions at esteemed institutions such as ICAI, ICSI, and various government organizations. She is sought after trainer faculty at financial and educational establishments such as IIBF, universities, colleges, schools. Her training repertoire covers a broad spectrum encompassing life skills, personality development, leadership, strategic thinking, and communication skills. In the realm of finance, she imparts knowledge on risk, business management, banking, auditing, and career guidance, among others. So today she will be discussing with us about her life journey. So let us hear from her. Welcome, Madhurika. The platform is open, and now over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jitendra, for this lovely introduction. Thank you very, very much. I'm so grateful for this platform for reading my story as well. Thank you very much covering my story on this journey.
So looking forward to it. So you are the first chartered accountant I would be interviewing today. First thing I'd like to know from you is how did your past life has affected the person you wanted to be in your life and what you are?
All right. So this is more of a depth question. I'll try to make it as concise as possible. So past life, as everyone knows, we learn through our experiences, our fair share of, going through the journey by itself. So the lessons are I'd like to put it under three buckets, the rule of three. One is I have had a very strong hinge for this life because it's just once. So whenever I feel a little overwhelmed, whenever I feel like something new is coming, something very, very big is coming, like a challenge or like a change, whatever, I always remind myself I have this life only once, so I want to do my best towards it. So I'm not here to say that life is short, life is long, that kind of debate I'm not going into. But one thing is, for all of us here, right, it's just once. So we should never think that, should we do it? Should we actually enter into that particular field? Can we do it? A lot of questions that we have, self-doubts we have, a lot of anxiety that comes. All these are side effects. So whenever I have these thoughts, I kind of sit myself down and tell that, it's just once, Madhu, and you can do it. So I pat myself and I say that one, mantra that works for me. So that's one lesson that I've learned that works for me. And the second thing is to believe in myself. Is that, all of us, despite our qualifications, despite our varied interests and all that, at some time or the other, we will have some sort of doubt, asking whether is our capacity enough for us to enter into that field, or can we maintain the rhythm wherever we are working, whatever stream it is.
Right.
So at all the times, it happens. It's very natural. So whenever someone comes and asks me, ma'am, that you've achieved this much, so you don't have, for example, take public speaking. A lot of people have nervousness and they come to me asking, ma'am, how to beat the fear. The first thing I would say is, fear is very natural. So we have to accept it and embrace it. The second thing is to believe that you can do it. Now, you might give your 100%, which for the other people might not be 100, and who cares? It's fine. it's your 100% at the end of the day, right? So for
Correct.
that, you need to have self-belief. And these are the two things I've learned through my journey, that no matter what, because this is a world of a lot of opinions, a lot of, judgments everywhere. People give a lot of, light on what you do. So if you start listening to all that, you will never be able to give your 100%. So something
Correct.
that I've told myself is, in all those moments where I have doubts, is to remember that life is once, and to always believe in myself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, 100% the world doesn't. So that's a given. But if you believe it, there are high probabilities that the world will start believing. So these are the two things that I've learned in my life.
Right, that's true. So, like when you were growing, so you have any certain thoughts, like what you want to do as in, like your career choices?
Like while I was in my school days, childhood times.
Yeah.
Okay, childhood me, I wanted to do a lot of things. Nothing was related to who I am today, because I wanted to become a cardiologist, I wanted to become a pilot. So even including all the secondary education until my 10th standard ended, I never really had like a singular vision that I wanted so badly. One particular year, I wanted to become a particular thing because I saw a movie or I saw my friends talk about it. It used to vary a lot.
So never thought of
So
CA.
vision as such for me, yes, people can relate. The reason for this is it's okay to not have a vision. It's okay. It's fine. Certain people have it, very good. Carry on. For people who do not have it, it's fine. Like it's okay to
Correct.
not be okay. It's
Lot
like
more
that.
to do in
And
life.
whatever you like, correct. Just go with the flow. And I remember very clearly that after my 10th results came in and my parents sat me down and they asked me, Chalu, now only tell us what you want to do and all that. I was very blank. Then I said, I don't know, you guys decide for me. And they were like, no, you have to take a call. And then my dad, being a chartered accountant himself, obviously kind of nudged me towards that platform, said, okay, fine, you just take commerce and see. So I was like, okay, fine. So I never had any chartered accountancy dream. But it was just like, my dad told me and I started the journey. It's just that. So I never really had a vision for myself in China.
Right. That's great. So, if I ask you about your passion, what are the things you are passionate about, and what is the role of motivation and inspiration onto it further?
Okay, I'll break this question into two segments, one being passion and one being motivation, inspiration. Now, when it comes to passion, trust me, Jitendra ji, that if you had asked me this question even 3 years back, I wouldn't have given you this answer. It's only in the last 2-3 years that my whole life changed, perspective of life changed. The basic comes from discipline. That is my passion, and that certain people laugh at it, and that's fine. I cannot do a non-routine day. I don't know how to put it otherwise. I need to have a set of routine. Like if I have to wake up at a certain time and my morning has to have certain activities, and then I'll start the day, and then the day goes. So it's not about only what activities I do. Even if I want to be idle, it's fine. That will be a part of my day. So discipline and routine is my passion, because if I do not follow that, and if I wind up the day around 7:30, whatever the time is, somewhere there's an incomplete feeling. Somewhere there's this you really not dealt with the day as much as you could. That kind of feeling sets in. So I'll not have a good night's sleep. So it's again a passion. A passion is something that will not make you sleep. At the end of the day, it's like a dream. So for me, routines are passion. Even if it's a weekend, I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy in proper format. I don't want to leave it half-baked. So that is definitely my passion currently. And the second thing, which has been a permanent passion, has been my dance. I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer, as you had introduced. It's my parents. I should give them the credit, because I think while I was at the age of 3 or 4, they had, saw something in me and they kind of just put me to class. And from there, my journey started. So whenever I say I've been learning dance from the age of 4, 5, whatever, the age is, people kind of like lift their eyebrows. And I'm like, yeah, I understand, but it's beautiful. Like if you see me at home, I'll keep dancing, or I'll see people dance, or I'll talk about dancing. It's some way or the other. In a single day, I have dance as something to do as a part of my day. So it is there in my blood. So these two, routines and dance, are my current passion.
Great. That's really wonderful. And you still practicing it. That is even wonderful.
I mean, to be very honest, you should. If you leave it, there are a lot of things. It's like any art for that matter, even painting. If you learn to do certain strokes, and to leave the art form for, say, even a couple of months, to regain the same kind of, hand movement will take you a lot of time. So
Correct.
any art for that matter is the same. So dance also being the same art, it's a divine art. So a kind of, it soothes your soul. Basically, when you dance, not just Bharatanatyam, anything for that matter.
Correct.
It kind
Any
of
dance form.
gives you elements.
Correct. So if I talk about your work and experiences, like how you started your career, what all you did so far.
All right, so I'm going to keep it very, very short. As you said, I am a chartered accountant and financial risk manager. I also hold IFRS degree from a renowned institute called ICSI, and I've had a wonderful undergraduate 3 years from Chennai in a college called MOB Vaishnav, where it taught me what, from the teens you go into the early 20s, and that kind of feeling. So it was a wonderful experience. So that's for my what my qualifications are. As for my profession goes, I'm currently in the educational training side. That's for the last 2.5 years, 3 years close, where I teach both finance and management. Along with it, previously I was working in MNC sectors in the banking industry, and as an audit manager in a partnership firm. So that was my, different venture of my corporate experience and training side. For my passion, yes, I do have dance. So this is just me starting. So I remember after 12th standard, again, the question of what do you want to do came. I was like, I don't know, but I wanted to have a college experience. That was very clear. So I told my dad, I want to get into this college. I want to do this. And he's like, yeah, chalo, it's fine. And I got a good grade. So I got it on credit, I'm on merit. So he was very happy and he just sent me. And while I was there, I was in different departments, like, different student cells and all that. So he saw me grow there, and he also wanted me to pursue something on the side and not just have full college kind of. So he then asked me, do you want to write the entrance exam? And I was in that, full of energy kind of person at that time. So I was like, yeah, fine. So I just gave it a shot and it clicked. And then the next steps followed. So CA for me as a journey, because a lot of people, right now say, obviously your dad is a chartered accountant. It's a very obvious question. It was never obvious. And neither was it for my dad, because he was that person who always gave me a lot of freedom. So the first question is like, what do you want to do? And if there's something that I don't know, he'll guide me. So it was not my dad pushed me, but I think it's in a good fate that I became a chartered accountant. But it is not something that I wanted to become, but I'm very glad that I am. And after that, FRM followed, because in CA you have a lot of departments. Risk is also one such a niche kind of skill. I loved risk, studying about risk and all that. So I did a master's degree, financial risk management from US Institute, GAR, and the journey continues. So this is how my qualifications were placed.
Great. And that's really wonderful that you got a push as well as support from your father. So the combination is really, really important for anybody. And you worked with different organizations. That too itself is a great opportunity you got, and you learned so many things in life. Now you are teaching, you're learning to others and supporting others. That is really even wonderful. So now moving on to the next one, what are your vision, mission, and goal in life for next 5 to 10 years from now?
Okay. I'm going to be very blunt. I have not changed as a person. So for me, vision is something that is still not there. So I'm that person who's like, take life as it comes, but I do have a goal set for 1 year from now. So as it happens, I take 1 year after the other. In my childhood, I always had this one dream that I wanted to be, that's from my mother, because she used to always say, be independent in life. Whatever you do, even if you earn 10 rupees, it's fine. It's not about the money that you earn. It's not about the fame you collect. It's not about people liking you based on what you do. It's about you having that self-assurance that you can take care of yourself any day, anytime. So I certainly have that in my mind, and that's always been a dream, to be self-assured. Independent, people label it different. Self-assured is, it's a very clean kind of label. So I still have that as my vision. And along with my personal fitness and professional fitness, wherever the journey takes me, I'm a very open person. So wherever the journey takes me, henceforth with the blessings of God, I will take all those challenges up with whatever gear I have. So let's hope for something good to happen in the next 10 years. We'll again get in touch, hopefully before then and after 10 years as well, to see where I am at that point. Now, for mission that is concerned, as I said, for the coming 1 year, the biggest mission I've set for myself is that I have to learn to manage my changes, because there are good changes coming my way. I've taken up new challenges, a lot of new things. So I have to manage it properly. I cannot be like that, laid back person who's not. I cannot be that person when it comes, I'm not able to handle it. So I do not want to overthink it, at the same time not be laid back. So I want to manage it right. So that's going to be a good deal of efforts. Along with it, as I said, when it comes to health, it's not about whether you have a certain kind of a figure, you want to, kind of lean it down or bulk it up. It's about maintaining your fitness. Fitness is absolutely crucial. So because when I say to a lot of students and working professionals that if you don't do fitness kind of routines in your day-to-day life, it's going to hamper your productivity and efficiency, because our body is a vehicle and we have to take care of the vehicle properly. And for it to be properly there, we have to take care of two things. One is to do whatever exercise that you can, walking, whatever that you can, for at least minimum say 20 to half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour. Along with it, a little bit of mental health, because we are in that overpopulated area right now. So we need to zone out and kind of have that me time. So for that, you need to reach out to your soul. When I say mental health, is to reach out to your soul and keep it happy. Basically, mind is one thing, soul is another thing. So you have to keep your soul happy. And whatever you want to do, as I said, if you want to dance, sing, or like meditate, write gratitudes, whatever it is that keeps you happy, you can do this for just 10 minutes a day. So I want to practice this and incorporate in the routine as much as I can and be fit. So that's the second thing as a mission I have the next 1 year, I guess.
Great. So, what are your 2-3 life lessons you have learned from your personal and professional journey so far?
Life lessons. Okay, so as I said, one of the life lesson, which is as a topic for today's session as well, is to create a brand, and for that you need to know who you are. That is, identify yourself.
Right.
Now, I did not know all this earlier. I was also new to this, but when I understood that, it's giving a lot of effect on my life as well. So that's why I'm here in the training, trying to, and incorporating that into a lot of minds as possible. So I'm not saying that you have to sell yourself or market yourself. I'm not saying that, but know yourself in depth. You are the only person to know yourself fully. So do that awareness check, that assessment check, because if you don't know who you are, suppose if the situation comes, you just react. And I've seen a lot of people, they don't even remember how they reacted because they don't know that. They just come instantaneously and they just say something, do something, and they leave. So you cannot improve on yourself otherwise. So the first thing is to know who you are. And if you want to develop on yourself, because a lot of people, when they say personality development, that's kind of the last step. The first step is to know, okay, I like blue color, I don't like green color, for example. Now, if you don't know that, and if you see nature and then you dislike nature, it's not you disliking nature, you dislike the color. So there's a whole lot of different things. So you need to first do an awareness check and then assess yourself on a regular basis. And if you'd like to change something, because change is something, for example, you might look at someone and get inspired and I might not. So there's a lot of difference. So if you want to really develop on yourself, then you can. So personality development is not for everyone on everything. It's only for everyone on certain things on what they want. So you have to create that identity for yourself and brand accordingly. Because when I see a lot of people come for career guidance and resume and a lot of things, which are all hard skills. Again, I'm just giving you a small example. If you go to a company and there's a particular profile, job profile, which is open, and if you know who you are, and if you are that person who would like to work for 12 hours, 13 hours, and consider that as your passion, you'll not find it hard. But if you're that person who would like to give only for 8 hours that mental space, and you have other things to do for the day, or even if you don't have other things, you like to be idle, do not apply for such jobs. Because at the end of the day, when people come to me and say it's all micromanaged, it's not micromanaged. It's what the job profile intends to. So you cannot enter into it without knowing who you are. So knowing who you are is the first for all of the things that we do in life. So branding and identifying is the first lesson that I've learned. The second thing is to know that, okay, these are things I can work with. These are things I cannot work with. Can I tolerate it? Can I not tolerate it? Can I handle it? And tweak it and own yourself. Ownership, accountability. Because when I say, be accountable for example, take exercise as a normal example. For a few days, if you want to, a lot of people initially, they'll sign up for a lot of gyms. They'll do it for like about a month and they'll give up. So the consistency is lacking. And when people say consistency, work on your consistency, you can't work on that. You have to work on the accountability. If you work on the accountability, you will rectify consistency. So the base is something else. You can't work on the result. You have to work on the efforts. So I think these are the few lessons I've learned that has given me a good path. I'm not saying I'm perfect yet, but it has made me understand that, different causes and different effects. Cause and effect is different. So you just have to handle it accordingly.
Correct. So you've been working on like identity as well as financing part. Now I'm clubbing it up together. And onto this further, like how does our unique identity contribute to creating value in finance and management? And in what ways does embracing our individual identity enhances financial and management practices?
Okay, so this as an extension to my previous answer. Now take any kind of business model. there are different managements, right? System management, operations management, people management. If you don't want to think of a corporate sector, think of your own life. You have to handle people, society. You have to handle systems around you. The whole organization. Your home is an organization, so you have to handle that organization, operations. So there's a kitchen work, there's a bedroom work, there's a hall work. There are different systems in place. So even in the corporate sector, there are managements that you have to work with. Now, when it comes to finance, now there are personal finance. How much do you save? How much do you expend? What is your recurring income? How many sources of income do you have? Wealth creation. Do you want to create wealth, or do you want to create or grow your lifestyle? What kind of wealth creation do you want? Do you want to mitigate risk, or do you want to yield more return, which comes under risk management? You take any segment in both finance and in management. All the labels might vary, but it is just you who's handling that in different parts. Example, we'll take one management. Now take systems management. Now, if there are different, obviously in home and in organization, you have different protocols, different policies, different procedures that every employee should, follow. Now, if you are that person who's very organized, who's that person who's very, very committed to the work, not just work, you are that person. Like your personality is in such a way that you're very organized. You as a person will wake up at 6 o'clock, you will, do certain things by 7 o'clock, if you're like that organized kind of very systematic person. Obviously, when you want to go to the office, you will go at 9 o'clock if it's a 9:30 job. And when you open by any chance that person's laptop, they will organize their files and folders accordingly. They'll not leave it in haphazard manner. And if it's any email that they want to set, they will keep reminders. And if they want to go to a meeting, they will have notes in hand and go. They will not just like that enter into. You understand, sir? It's all related to who you are. Now, if you take another management, take people management. If you are an introverted person that, you don't like to talk to people that much, you just want to be with yourself and you're very happy. And if there's a party in the organization which they're saying that it's the option of the employees. If they don't want to come, it's fine. Then what will you do? You'll not go. If they're forcing it on you, that's when you'll just go and come back and maintain a good phase and come. So that affects your corporate side, or how you deal with people and your teams as well. Whether you go for a team outing, how frequently you be in touch with your teammates, how much you talk, what kind of are you a private person, are you a social person? Now relate the same thing for your finance. That's for management. Now when it comes to finance, say you're earning 10 rupees, and if you're that person who how much ever you're earning, you want to save 50%. So whatever you receive first in your hand, you immediately save. You don't expend it. You immediately save it. Put it into whatever savings scheme it is. Now with the 5 rupees, say this month you're able to have a very, very lavish lifestyle. But the next month, because the cost going up, if you are not able to have the same lifestyle, if you are the person who's fine by it, you will adjust to it. It's fine. There are certain people who will be like, ma'am, I'm not able to manage the same lifestyle. So should I reduce my, savings? But that will hinder their savings mindset because they are in a very growth mindset. So all these take streaming platforms. So that's the most easiest. We have Discord, we have Twitch, we have gaming platforms. People come there and put a lot of, whatever they do, they kind of stream it. And if you see, a lot of people manage their social media via streaming. They talk about their opinions and judgments, and they also manage it accordingly that they don't reflect on it as a bad thing. They kind of just say that I like this thing, I don't like this thing, but I'm fine. You can say whatever. That's social management. So what I'm trying to saying is who you are impacts everywhere else. So when someone comes to me for saying that I want to trade, I do not ask them how much money you have. I ask them what kind of a person you are. Do you want to have a good lifestyle and expend, and with whatever reserve you have, you want to save? Or do you want to save first and then expend? And even if you want to save, are you a very conservative person who would like to just put it in very safe kind of funds like FD or like, basic mutual funds? Or you want to be a risk taker and you want to grow aggressively and you want to put it in like equity and, a lot of shares? You get it, sir. It's about who you are. It's not about the theory. Theory, everyone knows. Now the online it's available everywhere, but not everyone follows the same thing. There's a lot of difference. So that's where your identity comes in. Who you are affects everywhere else. Now, since I am into the finance and management side, I'm giving you examples of the same. Now, you can apply it in engineering, you can apply it in doctoring, whatever it is, wherever you are. Now, you're a doctor, everyone learns the same medicine. But when patients come in, how do you handle the patients? Do you just throw the medicines to them? How do you handle it? You might go through a rough day yourself. How do you handle the patient? That no one teaches, because that's an identity you have to develop yourself. That you cannot get that in any kind of book. in your hard skill. That is your,
Right.
whenever you are going through the degree. So that's when I say that wherever you are, whichever platform you're working in, without your identity, you will not be able to, grow as much as you could possibly. But with your identity, a good identity, you can create value. Because value addition is a skill, and no one works for it's not about money, it's about what you bring to the table. So value add is something that you have to, and what is the base that's going to help you is your identity.
Correct. Rightly pointed out. So, on to this further, like, can you share some example of leveraging diverse backgrounds for innovative finance and management approaches?
All right. So in this, I will take my private example. So when I'm in dance, and I also sing, and a lot of people just we are all bathroom singers and dancers and all of that. So we can relate to that. And some play indoor games, outdoor games like badminton, chess, whatever it is. So we all can relate to that particular skill. Now, when we learn the skill, it's not just about that skill. It's not about what. So if you take dance for example, and when I teach you certain dance movements, it's not about the movements only. It's about a lot of skills associated with it. Now, example, when I'm teaching you, I'm not teaching you with a recording. I'm teaching you on the spot, so you have to grasp it. There's a good grasp power. Now, there's a lot of good retention skills, because when you go back, you have to practice in calm. And for that, you don't have a base recording. You have to remember what was taught, and then you have to practice accordingly. And then you have a muscle memory, because if you practice it wrong for a long time, the muscle retains only that. So there's a good muscle memory. And whatever activity you do, and this I'm saying irrespective of indoor, outdoor, whatever that is you do, there's fresh energy. Like if you will go for a walk, there's a TED talk available, and there are a lot of online sources where if you go for a meeting, take a walk before the meeting and go. Why people are taking that as a scientific reason is because there are few chemicals that are getting released when you take a walk, and that will help you for the meeting. There's a creative idea that comes. There's a dopamine hit that comes. So there are few chemicals that work in our body that we do certain things, and the chemicals get released that will help us with it's like a byproduct. So any kind of skill you learn, you have to understand what are the associated skills that you're learning, and how can you implement that in your core area. So that way you're like understanding everything, and you're not just doing it for the sake of it. So having other skills learned at the same time, and multitasking, when people say, how is it possible to multitask? It's very possible, because in a day, we are doing a lot of activities. We're waking up, we're getting up, we are refreshing our body, we are at least walking, we are drinking, we are eating. So there are a lot of things we're doing. But while doing all those activities, it should be a singular focus. So multitasking is not to do a lot of things all at once. It's about doing a lot of things in each of its space. That's a singular focus. And you can excel at a lot of things. So by this, you can leverage in your core area, understanding the associated.
Correct. Right. So, onto this further, like, what advice would you give to others who are looking for to create such value in finance and management through their unique identity?
The main and the primary kind of advice is a big word, kind of a sister suggestion is that just know yourself. Please know yourself. I'm just saying it a word. I took about close to a year to understand all that. It was not easy, because it's a day-to-day progress. I'm not asking you to sit with a notebook and write, but while you are in a particular experience, understand, think about what happened, how you reacted, how you responded, whether certain things provoked you, you liked certain things, understand and write a journal about it. That way it helps. Over a period of time, you get a good chunk of information that you can work on. So the primary thing I would tell everyone is to just work on yourself by assessing and being aware of yourself. That way, because people say, I'm already aware. It's not that. This way of progression is a structured approach. You have to always have a framework to work with. You can't just haphazardly work. Your mind cannot pick. Now I also study neuroscience whenever I have time. So I understand how the mind works. You cannot just throw something randomly and expect it to work better the next time. There has to be a framework, like a boundary. And within that, if you work, your mind will help you grow even faster. So if you know yourself, if you take time to understand and assess yourself in a structured way, you'll be able to, excel everywhere, wherever you are.
Right. So now coming back to you again. So what is your take on success? What do you feel about it?
Success for me is, to put it in a word, is not about the destination alone. It's about the journey. Now, if I give you a small example, every time I succeed in something, it's like a tunnel vision where you go through the tunnel. There's a lot of darkness and you have no idea what you're going to do. But you fall down, you run, get caught, and then, there are a lot of things that you do. And when you just go at the end, like when you're reaching at the end of the tunnel, tunnel, you suddenly get the light and you're like, there's a ray of hope within you that you're reaching the destination. And when you come out of the tunnel and you see the bright light, it kind of like gives a lot of, light to the eyes. So we'll start scrunching your eyes a little bit. But at that time, I do not want to just say, yeah, I want to look back at the tunnel and understand how the journey was. For me, the journey is something that is as equally or more important than the destination. Whatever I take in my life, will always question myself, do I really want to repeat the process? Do I want to, if someone asks me, ma'am, do you want to go back in time and repeat the whole CA journey? I would definitely, I would be happy to, I don't know how many people will do that, because I'm not saying I've had the success, I've had the most happiest, I've had my share of downfalls as well. But all the downfalls, trust me, are very, very good learnings. Because if you fall, you should be grateful. There's a saying like that, you should be grateful, because success doesn't teach you that much. It's just the downfalls that teach you. Maybe at that moment we'll not be able to understand, but later on you will be thankful. So while you're enduring such downfalls, it's okay. Wallow as much as you want. Be happy at the end of the day that you have had that learning. And then next time, don't repeat it. Do some other mistake and learn from it. So it's always that. So for me, the dark is as much as important as the light. So the journey is very, very important. Journey is great. Even if the destination is a little far, it's fine. If the journey is great, that for me is success.
In last, any message or advice you would like to share?
Message. I would just say, just live your life. As I said, I'm just going back to the first thing I said, because life is once and is very sweet and short. So just live it. And whatever is your passion, work your passion. That way life becomes easy. It just becomes very happy. Every day you're happy. Keep yourself very fit, mentally, physically, in your soul as well. And your surroundings, your family, friends, everywhere. Just be happy and do not I don't want anyone to, there's no regret basically. You should never have regrets. Just live it the way you want it.
Correct. Rightly pointed out. Very important. You enjoy your life wherever you are, whatever you are doing. And if you do that, Absolutely. That is the best thing possible in your life. So amazing thoughts and really amazing insights you have shared about how we can be individual, have our own individual identity and plan our finances and management accordingly. So that could be the best thing possible. And I must thank you for your time and energy. You have shared so many wonderful things today, and of course your story as well. So looking forward to hear more from you again soon. Thank you so very much, Madhurima, for your time and energy once again.
Thank you very much for the platform. Thank you to you, Madhurika Raguraman. Thank you for the viewers for taking your time out and seeing this interview as well. Hope it was useful. Your time was useful. Thank you very much.
And Madhurika, I'll also share your social media links along with the interview so that people can be in touch with you, take your help and guidance on finance as well as the skill training you are doing. So guys, don't forget to check that out too. Thank you so very much everyone for watching and listening.
Thank you very much.
I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information and enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good time. Thank you and bye-bye.